Hey everyone, thank you for letting me know that this did not work out the first go around. So I'm going to go ahead and re-record this for us. So hopefully we'll have some better success this go around. So I'm still waiting on some information from Stacy's group about how to put together the most powerful presentation most powerful template. She gave us some really, really good sound advice, and I did not take explicit notes, and I want to make sure I capture everything so it makes sense. So hopefully we can gather that information. If not, I can reach out to Jackie from the home office, and she was the one who gave that information to us. So I wanted to just let you know that is still pending, but for now, we can work on the template regardless. So in the meantime, this is the template, suggested template structure that Stacy had given us, and I think it could potentially serve us well. So basically what she did is she had each day laid out. I did add 2 extra days since we extend our parties to Friday. So here's an example of what day 1 would look like. So if you remember from her template that she shared with us, she does a heavy load on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So when I added it up, it looked like she was doing every other hour plus 2 or 3 extra posts. So if you have day 1, day 2, or day 3, if you could follow that suit, that would be good. So for an example, you'll do one at 8, 10, 12, 2, basically the every other hour concept, and then throw in 2 to 3 extra posts somewhere in those time slots. So basically you're going to have a few extra to do. So let's say for the very first one, you're going to start your party at 8 o'clock. You're going to add a picture of your family, and this is going to be miscellaneous because there's really nothing else here except maybe engagement that would work for that. So that is the welcome post. Then you're going to have, let's say, the Wahoo Weekend Challenge. The Wahoo Weekend Challenge is typically a GIF, and so we're going to select Wahoo Weekend Challenge, and you could just put WWC and then the link for the Wahoo Weekend Challenge. Since day 1 has more to do, I'll go ahead and take the Wahoo Weekend Challenge. Unless somebody else wants to do it, that's fine. But for now, we'll assume that unless you hear otherwise. So that's basically what you're going to do. You're just going to go straight down, pick the times, the every other hour, 8, 10, 12, 2, and so on. And then if you're on days 1 through 3, you're going to add 2 extra posts to your day, kind of assembling it like Stacy does. If you're on day 2, you'll do the exact same thing. You'll pick it up, you'll add your content here. So after you've added all your content in, then what you're going to do is you're going to take this here and, oops, that shouldn't be there. And whoops, that shouldn't be there either. Let me delete that. You're going to take your content and you're going to copy it and you're going to paste it into the entire week. So for example, this is day 1. Oh, I'm day 1, my bad. So I'm going to take this and paste it in, and that's all of my content for day 1, and I'm done. So Lori had thought of a great idea. She said she liked the idea of having day 1, day 2, day 3 all on separate pages, but there is a problem with that, and this resolves it. So let's say, for example, that I choose day 1 and I do the recruiting post, the $500 recruiting post. If I just chose here 6 o'clock and it's a picture and it's the recruiting post, and I just put recruiting post here, then somebody could potentially duplicate my effort and make another $500 post. So let's be as specific as possible, so that way we can kind of avoid any hurdles and issues that could pop up along the way. So I'll go ahead and do the Wahoo Weekend Challenge. I thought it was Karen on day 1, but it's me on day 1. So I have day 1, Karen has day 2, Lori has day 3. Keisha and Julia will split day 4. Day 5 is Carol. Day 6 is Susan. I have day 7, Angie, and then I have day 8, Rachel. So Rachel, I know you're new at this. If you do not feel comfortable doing this creation, just let Karen know, and you and her can work together on it, or we'll figure out another potential route. But you are such a content creator, I figured you'd be able to nail this. But if you don't feel comfortable, it's totally cool. Just talk to Karen about it, and she can either walk you through it, or we can figure out another plan. So this is what it looks like at this point. Just a little bit about the due date. So originally we had said December 18th, but I know how busy we all are, and it just doesn't seem feasible. And I don't want us to rush on the template. I want to, have as high quality information as possible. So I'm going to back that up to December 28th. Now that is pushing it for me, because I myself and Susan have to get all of this ready and together so it's available by January 5th. So that is considered the gauntlet date. Like that's the date that if your content isn't submitted, then it'll just have to be omitted because I won't have time to review it and put it all in and get it ready to go. Now, in saying that, I'm not going to do a deep dive into the review because what I was experiencing is that I was doing this deep dive, running all of these checks on it and making sure that, the grammar was right and so on. But then I would be sending that out to all of you and our teams, and then I would have to recreate everything again. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ask that you be mindful of, the capitalization, like capitalizing Pampered Chef. Somebody I put in Pamper last time. So Pampered Chef, capitalize all that, capitalize the products. And just do your best when it comes to that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the capitalization is important on our products as well as the name of the company. Other than that, I'm just going to do a light overview so I don't necessarily cause you guys extra work or myself extra work, and we can get out a good product. The other request, and all I can do is just request this, and that is, I know it's easy to put things off to the last minute. I am probably the queen of that. But when it comes to this template, I actually do schedule time on my calendar to get the content done, because I kind of feel like the content is a representation of ourselves. So I want to make sure that my content is as high quality as possible. I'm not perfect by any means, but as high quality as possible, and as captivating as possible. And when we wait to the last minute, a day before, 2 days before the template is due, it's not quality work. So if you guys can please try to do your best to maybe look at it like this and say, okay, we have 3.5, 4 weeks. I need to get 10 posts done. And if I were to do 3 a week, I'll knock it out of the park time wise. So if you think you are not going to be able to get this done, you have got to let us know, not a day before, 2 days before, because you put us into a pickle, but let us know like today if you don't think you can get this happening and going. Now, I don't know what's going to happen as a result of that, because all of us have a lot of workload. So we may just end up not having a day done and putting that back on our teams. But we need to make sure that we can, get this out efficiently on the 28th, because that's only giving our teams a couple of days. Now, in saying that, I don't think the majority of our teams are going to have anything going on January 5th. So I think we have a little bit of a cushion. That's going to give Susan and I the time to review this, but the gauntlet date we will establish as December 28th. So that will give Susan and I a little bit of time, because obviously that's going to run into New Year's for us, and I'm going to be out of town. So it's going to be a tricky time frame. So we might need more than one reviewer, meaning my Susan, meaning Susan and myself. So if you have any questions, let me know. I think I've covered everything that I had planned to cover. I think that's about it. And then of course we're just gonna have to leave maybe some spots. I have an idea actually, and sorry, this is kind of backtracking a little bit. So remember how I was saying do every other, for the people that are on days 1 through 3, so that's myself, Karen, and Lori. Instead of doing 2 or 3 extra posts that day, let's just do every other hour. And then when we know what the specials are going to be and the sales are going to be for January, then we can fit those in sporadically, or kind of divide them between days 1 and day 2 and day 3. So let's just all stick with every other hour, starting at 8, ending at 8. And remember, we always end the night with recipes. In the evening would be a good time for the booking and the recruiting post. And then 10 o'clock is always our games. So just keep that in mind as we are going through and creating the content. And then Karen and Lori, just save a spot somewhere for the Wahoo Weekend Challenge. And that's just one less post you got to do. So if anyone has any questions or suggestions, please feel free to let me know. And hopefully this actually recorded. Thank you.